I watched Oppenheimer today. It got me thinking about the quote,
"Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds."
It comes from the Bhagavad Gita, which is a sacred Hindu text. The Bhagavad Gita is essentially a conversation between Krishna and a prince called Arjuna aboard a chariot, right before Arjuna was meant to launch into battle. Arjuna is conflicted about how he should behave. He no longer wants to go to war, at least not entirely. He doesn't know what the right thing to do is, where he should ride his chariot, and Krishna provides him with answers. Duty, honor is a theme throughout. Krishna tells Arjuna that it is his duty to go into war. He is a soldier, that is what he must do. Others have different duties, they must do theirs. I suppose you can apply this to a modern day setting, in the sense that how hard would it be for an army marching towards their enemy to simply turn around because the person in charge had a change of heart? How ethical would that be? How right would that be? Would it be too late to make that call? Would the path already be set in stone? Would changing anything result in even worse carnage for oneself and for people who had no control over that decision? When can something be changed? Could it ever have even been changed? As you can probably tell, I found it kind of hard to fully understand it all. But my understanding is that our paths in lives and our options are sometimes laid out for us, or at a certain point become that way. We have little choice but to act on the path that has been set out for us. Arjuna, as the warrior prince, must lead his people into war. There is no other way but that for him. It's his duty or dharma. There is deep humility in that acceptance. We surrender to entities such as Krishna, or as shown to Arjuna, the multi-armed and seemingly thus more convincing and impressive Vishnu, because our understanding and even significance in whatever this plane is nothing compared to theirs. In fact, this world could be seen as unreal, a pantomime playing out and understood not entirely by us humans, but by something higher than us. And when Krishna, who is a form that is closer to what we'd recognize as human, transforms into the more alien Vishnu, that message is conveyed. Death, life, it doesn't matter too much. None of this matters as much as it sometimes seems it does. Not to us anyway, it's beyond us. Arjuna is a soldier and must do what soldiers do. It's not his place to question the actions of others or even the far-detached consequences of his own actions. They fall under the nose of other people and their dharma. And Oppenheimer, on the day the bomb dropped on Hiroshima and on the day the bomb dropped on Nagasaki, had a unique understanding of that quote. He had performed what he saw as his duty, but still it appears he struggles with the consequences. As the Bhagavad Gita suggests, it is out of his hands, but much like Arjuna, he still struggles with that concept. So it all got me thinking a bit more about free will. I saw an interview with the serial killer Richard Kuklinski. He asks a psychologist what he thinks of him, and the psychologist gives a supremely clear response in which he expresses an understanding of how the killer has become the way he has, and what he identifies as ever more narrowing choices in life to be anything else. He suggests Kuklinski was born into hate and violence and absorbed it. He was not taught love or kindness, he was taught violence. His path was set out for him, and in this life where money so often narrows options even more, there was a way for Kuklinski's character flaws to not be character flaws, to become strengths within the world of the mafia. Kuklinski was a highly successful contract killer, known as the Iceman for his lack of emotion. And Kuklinski performed a duty of a kind on a path that appears to have been more difficult to stray from than it would be for someone identified as well-adjusted.
You were able to have a very long run as a successful contract killer. It's quite unusual.
Since there is no love in my life, I must have something to replace it, so I replace it with hate.
What's that do for you?
Keeps my left foot going in front of my right foot. Keeps me moving.
So without hate, Kuklinski doesn't have purpose. Kuklinski sees no reason to be alive without it. The ditch that has been dug is too big to be climbed out of. For him, he contests. And I wonder what the Lord Vishnu would say. I doubt I'd understand it entirely, and there's a distinct possibility my interpretation would offend an eighth of the world's population.
Hindu scripture, the Bhagavad Gita. Vishnu is trying to persuade the prince that he should be his duty, and to impress him takes on his multi-armed form and says, "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds."